In 2026, the definition of a high performer has changed. We've moved past the era of hustle and into the era of engine. Most leaders I coach are trying to run a 10x career on a 1x metabolic foundation. You're navigating AI, global markets, and family responsibilities. But you're doing it on a brain that's literally starving for the right fuel. Today, I'm going to teach you how to rebuild your engine. I'm giving you the Performance Triad, the exact protocol I use as a VP and a private coach to keep my mind sharp when the stakes are high or at its highest. By the end of this video, you'll have 3 actionable shifts you can implement today. Search data shows that in 2026, mental fitness is the #1 reason people work out. But for a leader, movement isn't just about weight loss, it's about brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Think of BDNF as miracle grow for your brain cells. So step number 1, you're going to stop doing random cardio. You need zone 2 grounding, 30 minutes of steady state movement where you can still hold a conversation. Why? Because it clears metabolic waste from your brain without spiking cortisol. As a leader, your job is to make decisions. You can't make decisions if your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight before you even get to the office. So here's your 7-day challenge. All right, what you're gonna do, you're gonna have one 20-minute zone 2 walk every morning. No phone, no podcasts, just movement and breath. We are seeing a massive trend in metabolic psychiatry. High performers are realizing that brain fog isn't a leadership failing, it's a nutritional one. Entrepreneurs in 2026 are obsessed with stable glucose. If your lunch causes a glucose spike followed by a 3 p.m. crash, you've lost the afternoon. You've lost your competitive advantage. To fuel a high performance brain, you need a protein first, fiber forward approach. Protein provides the amino acids for your neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Fiber slows down the absorption of energy so you can have a steady stream of focus for 4 to 6 hours. Here's what I want you to do. All right, I call this the power lunch rule. All right, so start every meal with greens, then protein, then fats. I want you to save the carbs for the end. This one shift can increase your afternoon productivity by 30%, okay? The reason why it does that is because, again, we talked about eating the greens first, the protein second, and the carbohydrates last. So when you eat the greens first, which is a fiber, really high in fiber, that fiber creates kind of like a little, creates like a shield around your stomach lining, which slows down the absorption of everything else that you put in after that. So when you eat the carbohydrates or the proteins first, you have a higher likelihood of spiking your insulin because the food is going to absorb into your bloodstream a whole lot faster. So always do your fiber first. Here's my 3rd pillar. I call it the strategic rest and deep reset, okay? The most searched topic for entrepreneurs right now is sleep quality. But sleep is just the end result. What you actually need is down regulation. All right. Here's what I want you to do. In my book, The Leadership Fitness Doctrine, I talk about active recovery. All right. You cannot lead from an empty cup. You need a daily nature reset. So even 5 minutes of looking at a natural fractal, like the leaves of trees, or has been shown to like lower your heart rate variability and reset the prefrontal cortex. So here's what I want you to do. Here's your step that I want you to take to help mitigate and alleviate some of that stress. All right. So this is I call this is the 6-minute library session. So before bread, I said bread, I meant bed, not before bread, before bed. All right, I'm tripping over my words today. It happens, all right? So I'm not gonna do a lot of edits in this video because I just wanna show you the natural. Things happen, people make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, I'm not perfect. So I'm gonna screw up my words sometimes. So get over it or just move on to the next video. Skip, all right, it's fine. But before bed, all right, no screens. I want you to read for 6 minutes. I want you to read 6 minutes of physical paper, meaning like don't read on your phone, of course, because it has that blue light, which can trick your mind into thinking that it's still daylight. I want you to read a book that has that kind of like manila beige colored paper, kind of like a dark, and it feels kind of like kind of fibery, like a little woodish, like it's definitely from a tree. That type of paper is easier on your eyes. All right, so I want you to do that. Read for 6 minutes of physical paper. It reduces stress markers by 68% and prepares your brain for deep restorative sleep. So those are the three things that I want you to focus on this week. All right, you have your 20 minutes of walking. You have your focusing on eating your protein first, your fiber first, protein second, carbohydrates last. And then finally, you're going to read for 6 minutes before bed. All right. The key is, what I want you to do is making sure that you are not having any screen time on your phone an hour before you're ready to go to bed. All right. Even if you can make it 2 hours, that'll be even better, because that tells your brain and your body that it's time to shut down. That blue light in the phone kind of mimics like the sunlight, which tells you and triggers your brain that it's daytime, so you need to wake up. So we want that melatonin to really set in. So no screen time the last 2 hours. Make sure that you send out all your emails, you send your good night text to whoever it is that you typically have to talk to. But I want you to just put that phone away and shut down for the night. Okay? Because listen, you are a grounded leader, or you're becoming that. All right? You move, you read, you lead. Success in this new era isn't about working more hours. It's about building a more resilient engine. Okay? So if you found value in this video, what I put together for you in this video, please like and subscribe. I also have a free resource that I'm going to give you. I call it the Grounded 15 Blueprint. It's a 7-day plan to integrate these 3 pillars into your busy life. All right, so the link is going to be in the description. Hopefully you guys click it. It's a free resource. It ain't going to cost you nothing. All right, again, I'm not selling anything. I'm just selling resources, which they're free. But I do have a book that actually costs. The book is called The Leadership Fitness Doctrine. I actually just finished writing it. It's completed. It is available now on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and a lot of other different platforms. That book is really the blueprint of, and the reason why I started this YouTube channel, because I work with over 250, high-level professionals and entrepreneurs over the course of like 8 years, when I had a physical location, and I found that a lot of them suffered and were struggling from the same things. A lot of them just were very successful. They got to this point where, they're in this position of power, and they have a lot of responsibility, and they have a lot of people who are counting on them to operate at the highest level. And because of that, they're constantly pouring out and giving out their energy. And in the midst of that, they forgot about themselves. And my book is a guide to make sure that you remember that your body is the reason why you are who you are right now, your body and your mind. So you really have to make sure that you take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and nutritionally. What are you fueling your body with? My book talks about all that. And it's really just a guide for individuals who are in leadership, because a lot of times, honestly, those are the individuals who are forgotten, because everybody's always calling them or looking to them for answers. My book is a resource for those individuals to let them know that I have you in mind. I am a vice president of a company. I'm a business owner. I've been doing a lot of different things in this life. So I've always been in the position of leadership, and I'm a prime example. I know exactly what you are going through. I've been there. I've gone through it myself. So I created this book, not only for you, but I also created for me. Me writing the book was very therapeutic. It was very therapeutic. And now how people are responding to it, and how it's helping other individuals, and how I've helped people personally, it really feels good letting those individuals know that there is someone out there who is thinking about them, who has them in mind, and just wants them to continue to be successful and wants them to have longevity. All right, so the book is going to help you get that longevity that you want. It's always okay to become successful, right? It's okay to get to the top of that mountain, but the question is, can you go to the next mountain? Can you go to the top of the next one? Because we all know, when you're a very ambitious person and, you're looking to continue to grow, that the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So my book is the one that's there to help you, and I'm here to help you to have that energy and to have that, mental fortitude and that physical strength so that you can continue to climb mountains. So please like, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.